Welcome to a short introduction, getting started guide to the Compare Tariffs app. Once you've downloaded it from the App Store, you can launch it. When you launch it, it comes empty. You need to add data. So in this getting started, we're going to download data, sample data from the documentation site in GitHub. The usage tab, which you're presented with, allows you to describe your usage and your generation if you are generating PV electricity. The cost tab allows you to capture supplier price plans that are of interest to you. And the comparison tab allows you to compare between the various costs and usage profiles that you can make better decisions as to what to do and how to optimize your electricity spend. So starting with the usage, I can fetch my set of usage profiles. So this is a single usage profile. There's a disclaimer here. I can download that and it comes in. It's called default. You can add more using the button down at the bottom, but we'll come to that in a separate video. For this one, you can delete or copy it. We will edit it in order to make use of it. So this particular sample is fully loaded. It has a usage profile, it has an inverter, it has solar panels defined, but up here there is no sunshine indicator, so we know that there's data missing from this one, so that's why it can't simulate. There is a battery which has settings defined and also a schedule defined. The hot water system is defined. There's a diverter in place for that, and also a schedule to ensure that we actually have hot water when we need it, even when the sun isn't shining. And finally, we have a car which has a hot water, which has a diversion scheduled, and also has a scheduled charging time as well for outside of sunny times, or possibly when the sun isn't shining. This particular plan as yet doesn't have a simulation, so we don't have a best cost yet. In order to get the best cost, we need to add some solar data. So we click into the solar panels. Why did that happen? We click into the solar panels and we get this view where each string is defined in a tab. Neither tab has solar data. In order to get the solar data, we need to edit it and then fetch the data. When we fetch the data, we only have a single source of solar data at the moment. More will follow. We go to the PVGIS data grabber where you can specify your latitude and longitude, the slope and azimuth of your panels. You can set the location using the GPS of the phone. I'm not doing that. And then you can download and save this data to the database. You need to do this for each panel set. So when you've done that, the bar chart providing the monthly distribution of PV generation appears at the bottom of the panels. Going to the second panels window, tab, again, I can fetch. You need to do this for each because the azimuth and slope are likely to be different for each string. Again, I can download and save and visualize and confirm that in fact I have PV data. So now when I go back to my overview, I can see that the sun is present on my solar panels and the simulation should have happened in the background. So it hasn't updated here, but that's okay. If we skim across, we can actually see that we have daily details, which are an indication that the simulation has happened. With this, I can filter to see my when I buy and when I sell electricity. When I buy and when I sell electricity, when I'm buying, yes, and when I use electricity. So here on the 23rd of June, I had a poor day from a solar perspective. I bought electricity in the middle of the night as per the plan, the profile, and I also bought some late in the evening, given that I had low solar. If I skim on one day to the 24th, I can see this day had better solar. The battery got charged, which is what you're looking at the bottom. You purchased electricity in the middle of the night. Again, you can see that here. on the left-hand side as the battery was charged. That's the scheduled charging. And if I hide the buy, I can see my usage profile for this day was geared towards using electricity at peak rate. I get a monthly roll-up where I get to see a bar chart, again very similar to the previous screen, but also a pie chart, which indicates where my PV went. So most of this PV went to load, some of it went to water, some of it was fed in, and 10% went to the battery. Similarly, you can do the same thing for the annual roll-up. And if we go back to the scenario overview, we have 4 overview graphs. We have a self-consumption, where in this you can see we consumed almost all of the PV that we generated. We have self-supply, which shows that we actually supplied about 20% of the electricity we needed, and we had to buy 78.5. There's a bug here. Then in this bottom left-hand corner, we can see the makeup of our load in terms of the EV, the hot water, and the car. These are our load drivers. And then on the bottom right, we have the distribution where the PV went in terms of to the grid, to the car, to hot water, to the battery, and to the house load. So I still don't have a best cost. Why don't I have a best cost is because I haven't selected this for inclusion in the costing. So when I include that, it gets compared against all the costs which we have defined, and we haven't defined them yet. And they're simple to define. We can, in our getting started, we can actually fetch them again from the GitHub site, GitHub documentation site. So if I download that, I get to see about 12 or 13 different price plans. If I look at a smart price plan, so this is fairly typical, it's from Energia. They have a feed-in rate. They have standing charges, and then I have information about where the data came from and when I last looked at the website to update the rates. The rates themselves apply to every day of the year. They apply to every day of the week, and they have an EV charge rate from 2 to 6 in the morning. They have a night rate, and they have a peak rate. If I come out of this, I can then go to my comparison tab where I get to see the comparison of the usage profile against the different price plans that were defined. This is currently sorted by net. I'm going to leave it as sorted by net. I can filter the columns to make it easier to see what's going on. In this case, I'm going to hide usage because it doesn't add anything, and then come away from that. And I can see that the 40% discount on the EV Smart is the best plan. And if I want to know why that's the case, I can look and see, well, okay, 81% of the electricity purchased was at 8.43 cents in the EV charge rate, and at the expensive rate at 38.35, I only spent 3.5% of the electricity purchase was bought at 38.35 cents. So that is a quick whistle-stop tour of the comparison of the different usages for the different price plans. A quick look at what a costing looks like, or a price plan looks like, and how we capture that, and the usage with the 6 different areas and the details of the simulation. So thank you for listening, and good luck.